All right, everyone, we are going to start class. So if you can take your seat. Oh. All right. Whew. It's one of those days. And how much charge I have on this phone. Come on. 44%. All righty. All right. Islam, everyone. All right, we start each class. Let's see. All right. We start each class every week by reading chapter 25 of the Holy Quran, divinely prepared by Prophet Noble Jew Ali. If you are in agreement with it, affirm by saying Islam after I finish reading it. All right. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the rest of one mother have given you such. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him out. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole nation, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. All right, Islam. How many people listened to the broadcast last night? How many people know that we have a broadcast on Tuesday? Oh, all right. That's all right. I'm just checking. We have a broadcast that airs every Tuesday, and if you were here, we talked about the New York Charter. And so the syllabus that went out last night for the show/class had a definition from the Black's Law Dictionary of borough. How many people heard that word borough? Did you know what it meant? Oh, it was amazing. And I wasn't able to print it out, but that was the syllabus that went out to everybody who I have on email. And and within that list of definitions from the Black's Law 4th edition dictionary, there was borough. And then it references a word in the description of borough of Burgess. How many people have heard that word Burgess? Where have you heard it?
I want to say that I have
Really? Oh. Let me think. How can I access it? That's exact. Anybody else heard the word Burgess? Who? Who's speaking? Where have you heard it? And what was it related to? But what specifically? Do you recall? Anybody else? A surname? Say that again. Burgess. Oh my gosh. I don't have my usual bag of goodies because my tablet is in there and I could access my email and pull it up. But in the definition, what am I thinking? Look, I got Black Law 4th edition on my phone, and I bookmarked it. I don't know why I'm tripping. All right, so let's go to the definition of borough. All right. Now, this is interesting. A town, a walled town, a town of note or importance, a fortified town, an ancient town, a corporate town that is not a city. Now, that's, if you were here when we did the analysis of city and county, you know that a city and a county is a corporation, so they just told you that a borough is as well. Then it said, an ancient town, corporate or not, that sends burgesses to Parliament. In its most modern English acceptation, a town or city or place organized for government. A parliamentary borough is a town which returns one or more members to Parliament. In Scotch law, a corporate body erected by the charter of the sovereign, consisting of the inhabitants of the territory erected into the borough. In American law, now, whenever you see American law, you have to really analyze it. It says in Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and New Jersey. Now, we all know that Pennsylvania, Connecticut, and New Jersey initially were started as companies. They're still companies. All right? Then it says a part of a township having a charter for municipal purposes. Now, we analyzed, how many was here when we analyzed the word municipality? So we know what municipality means, right? What does municipality mean? A Roman venue. So a borough is a type of a Roman venue, but at very least, it's a corporation. Then it says borough court. In English law, private and limited tribunals held by prescription, charter, or act of parliament in particular districts for the convenience of the inhabitants, that they may prosecute small suits and receive justice at home. They're not home if they're on this land, right? But they're talking about English law, right? And this is not England. These boroughs are companies on American soil practicing English law. And then to top it all off, they say that, for example, if you go to what they call the location classified as one of the 5 boroughs, you're in a borough. But a borough is a corporation. It's a company. So how can you, for example, now look at how they have, you know, one of the main things that I wanted to show with last night's broadcast is we have been mentally conditioned by the very corporations, all right, to believe that a company/corporation is government. Because I'm sure whenever you're traveling to or fro on the land, American soil, you will say something. Somebody will say, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to Manhattan, or I'm going to Queens, or I'm going to Brooklyn, right? But all of those are boroughs, right? And from this definition, they just let us know that a borough is a corporation. Not only is it a corporation, it's a foreign corporation. Because if you go and look for their charter, the original charter for example, Brooklyn, is out of the Dutch Republic. The spelling of Brooklyn, somebody sent me a picture, and did I download it? No. Somebody sent me a picture because there is a building and what is classified as Brooklyn with the original spelling of Brooklyn on it. It's Breklen, something like that. B-R-E, probably B-R-E-U-K-L-E-N, it's something like that, but it's not B-R-O-O-K-L-Y-N. That came afterwards. That was altered afterwards, probably by the English or the British Moors, rather, because the Duke of York came over and took over all the territory. And that was one of the charters that was attached to the syllabus as well for study. This is the charter for New York, 1686, from Great Britain. This is the 1686 charter, and also that what was attached was the 1897 charter that had been amended in 1899. That charter I sent out as well as part of the studies, because I meant to grab that and bring it, because when you read that, this charter has set up what we have been mentally conditioned to believe is government. It talks about a mayor, right? But it talks about a mayor, it talks about inferior court, it talks about a governor. Of course, the whole operation, or the whole company / corporation, is run by a CEO, and in the charter it identifies the CEO of New York as the mayor. But we've been mentally conditioned to believe that the mayor is a government person, somebody with some government power, when he is not. He is the CEO of a corporation. So a lot of times what we end up doing, and I'm missing my board and marker. What's happened to my board so that I can write on and marker? A lot of times, because we have been so mentally conditioned, we don't even know who our attackers are. Right? You don't know who's attacking you. All of us think it's the state. But one of the things that is interesting, this is why the prophet said study, study, study. That was another reason why I really wanted to show how you can go from word to word to word to word. But the prophet said study, study, study. Because if you start studying, you see things that you missed all your life. That was right in front of you all along. You didn't have to dig deep. It was staring you right in the face. Like, I was talking with this European daughter yesterday because I went to print it again. And isn't it crazy? I printed it, and then I pulled up this, and I was like, oh, what goodies do I have in here? This. But I was printing this, and this European daughter, she says to me, what is that, if you don't mind me asking? I said, oh, that's the charter for New York. She said, city? I said, yeah. I said, but city doesn't mean what you think it means. She was like, what does it mean? I said, city is a corporation. I said, New York is a corporation. She was like, what? I said, yes. I said, it's all in the charter. She said, really? I said, yeah, and where we are now, that's a corporation too. She was like, what? So then she says, no, she didn't think it was weird at all, because the people are waking up. Everybody is waking up, not just Moor. Everybody is waking up. So we were talking, and she was like, well, you know, it's a corporation, but I went to the town meeting and the mayor was there. I said, I worked for a big corporation, and they have town meetings, and all the employees are mandated to go to the town meeting. Her jaw dropped down because she realized what I was saying. All of the people who went to the town meeting just identify themselves as what? Employees. But we've been mentally conditioned to believe that these counties, city, town, townships, and boroughs are corporations. And then I said to her, I said, you know, you're paying income to these people on various different times of the year. I said, did they provide you with a product or service? She was like, no. I said, but they're a corporation. She said, yeah. I said, that's called racketeering. I saw her mind working. She was working, and before I left, she said, you think I can get a copy of that? I said, I'll be back here. I'm here quite frequently. I said, but you have to keep it on your computer. You can just print it off your computer. She said, no, we can't do that. I said, don't you worry. I'll bring you a copy on the flash drive. Yeah, because, see, everybody needs to know what's up, even the modern Europeans. Everybody needs to know what's up. Everybody is getting robbed left and right. So let's go back to borough. Now, we looked up this word borough, and then it said something about Burgess. Now, I know, just like the brother said, I know some people with the last surname Burgess. I'm like, what does that mean? Let's check the Black Law 4th edition. And, of course, surprise, surprise, Burgess is in here. I didn't bookmark it, so I got to find it. But thank goodness it's not far from borough. Here we go. Come on. Burgess. I want you all to take note of this. Pay attention. Listen up. Burgess. Y'all got family members? All of y'all look heavily melanated. Heavily melanated. Y'all got family with the last surname Burgess. Says in English law. What is that? Sound like somebody stole your surname. Because, see, English means hybrid. English is a hybrid. And the hybrid is a hybrid of the heavily melanated people. That would be your modern European. So, let's see what else they say. In English law, an inhabitant or freeman of a borough or town, a person duly and legally admitted a member of a municipal corporation. This is borough. And everybody want to shout out their borough membership. The one you always hear about is Brooklyn. Brooklyn in the house. Oh, you're a Brooklyn member, huh? Membership. A magistrate of a borough, an elector or voter, a person legally qualified to vote at elections. The word in this sense is particularly defined by the statute. Then it says, are you ready for this? In American law, the chief executive officer of a borough. That's what a Burgess is. It's right here in the Black Law, a chief executive officer. That would be your CEO of a borough, bearing the same relation to its government and affairs that the mayor does to those of a city. So used in Pennsylvania and Connecticut boroughs, the Board of Burgesses corresponded to the Township Board or Board of Trustees in some other state or to the Common Council of a city. So now what is that telling you? Burgess is a title that denotes the owner, CEO of a corporation. That, for example, I'm telling you, if we don't wake up in a couple of years, you're going to find a borough called Walmart. I'm telling you, you're going to find a borough or a county called Walmart, because the same thing that we are experiencing now will continue to happen if we do not wake up. So, I'm willing to bet that this word Burgess, that actually is the surname of probably a brutish Moor, now is a job of a hybrid. You see that? I know I can go back in history and I can find the word Burgess. But guess what? I'm sure if I look at the etymology of the word Burgess, it will take me to Borgia. Have you heard the word Borgia? Borgia, Italian, they call it Italian, but it's the Moorish family from the land they call Italy. And they were a huge part of the Roman family. Because, see, the head of the Roman family is called Pope. Everybody thinks it's, he is a sort of a father, but he's the father to the hybrid, not to the other Moors. But we have to do our history. We have to know who is who and what is what. But the prophet said, you have an illustrious history. And we do. Now, all of it is not peaches and cream. Some of it is a little scandalous in terms of what we did to people, the hybrids that we created. It's not very humane what some of the Moors did to them, but not all of the Moors did this, which is why we still have this fighting to this day. Because each and every one of us, I'm telling you, it's not about hate. It's just about identifying. And I can tell you, how many people, and I'm not trying to call you out or anything, but just think inside of your heart, how many people just can't stand modern Europeans and would like nothing more than to just kill all of them? And be honest with yourself now. Just be honest with yourself, because, see, that's what we as Moors was dealing with in 1861, which is why Congress adjourned Infinidea. And today, if it's not you, you know some Moors that feel that way. Don't lie. I know some Moors that feel that way. I'm not one of them. But I know some Moors that feel that way. And then on the other hand, you got some Moors that are very sympathetic, maybe too sympathetic, very sympathetic to their plight, to the non-Europeans in terms of they're extremely protective of them. Even as they cut them, they're still protective. That's the division of the family. So when we say that you are the ancestors' return, we mean it. You are the ancestors' return. You have to return, because those Moors that had that strong feeling of anger and want to just kill all the modern Europeans, they got to resolve that. So you got to come back. But also, you have Moors that have compassion for modern Europeans and the plight and the situation that they find themselves in. They more than likely volunteered to come back so that there can be a level of balance, and to help some of the family that have that strong anger inside of them overcome it. And that's why you will probably find women who will get involved with sons who are extremely angry and to calm them down, and vice versa. Because it wasn't just the sons that wanted to take them out. There was the mothers too. It was a split between the family, and that's why you will find some Moors who are in relations with modern Europeans, and then you will find other Moors that will be like, no way in hell will you ever get me to go down like that. Because that is, you can tell who is who just by the way they feel and respond to the modern Europeans. And so if you are a compassionate person, a compassionate Moor, your job is to help them overcome that and unite the family. and as the prophet said, this is why we, as Moors, we have to learn to love instead of hate. Absolutely. But let me tell you something. The first person you got to learn to love is yourself. Because you can't love nobody if you don't first love yourself. And because of a lot of things that we have gone through, many of us don't love ourselves. And if it's and it's a self-healing, because if somebody was to point it out, you'd go into instant defensive mode. It's like telling an alcoholic he's an alcoholic and he ain't ready to hear it. Instant defensive mode. So I want to read another definition because we went from borough to burgess. And then right underneath was this weird word that said Burgess roll. Burgess, R-O-L-L. And I was like, what is that? Then it says a roll, required by statute to be kept in corporate towns or boroughs of the names of burgesses entitled to certain new rights conferred by that act. Well, if you go onto Wikipedia and you pull up, for example, Manhattan, you're going to see what? The borough president, right? And then underneath, you'll see the last borough president, and underneath that, the one before that, and then the one before that, and the one before that, right? That's a Burgess roll. I wasn't even looking for this, so I found it. I ran into it. Burgess roll, like a pole, roll. That's a Burgess roll. And all of those people that are calling themselves mayors or borough presidents, they're really, according to English law, they're Burgess, they're CEO of a corporation. So we're getting a little bit more clarity on who is attacking us. Because, see, when in law, you must be specific. Law must be specific. Can never be vague. You cannot step up to the plate, make a claim, and not have the correct parties identified. You're walking into a very bad place, very bad place. So I want to back up because in this Burgess, it says an inhabitant or freeman. And I was like, a freeman? Here's that word freeman again. Now, before I go further, let me bookmark this. Oh, wow. All right. And I'm hoping I bookmarked Freeman. This is why you have to have your tool. Even if it's, yes, I did bookmark it. I amaze myself. I do something, I don't even remember that I did it. All right, in Black's Law Dictionary, freeman, a person in the possession and enjoyment of all the civil and political rights according to the people under a free government. Sound good, right? Then it says, in the Roman law, it denotes one who was either born free or emancipated and was the opposite of slave. In feudal law, it denotes an allodial proprietor as distinguished from a vassal or feudal tenant. In Old English law, the word described a freeholder or tenant by the free services, one who was not a villain. In modern legal phraseology, it is the appellation of a member of a city or borough having the right of suffrage or a member of any municipal corporation invested with full civil rights. Here we go. Did they tell you that, once again, that a freeman is a member of a corporation. Then they had underneath it this word, freeman's roll. I was like, what is that? A list of persons admitted as burgesses or freemen for the purposes of the rights reserved by the Municipal Corporation Act. Distinguished from the burgess roll, the term was used in early colonial history in some of the American colonies. It's still being utilized. It's just being hidden. Now, in the definitions, I included the definition of inhabitant because they kept talking about this inhabitant. What is that? Because remember, law is specific. Everything has a reason, so you have to analyze it. So you can go and, if you want the syllabus along with the charter, send an email to MHHS, eyes wide open, @gmail.com and ask for the syllabus 15th of December show or broadcast, and I will send it to you. Because what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to, look, I could have continued because, you know, I would have never got the definitions list done if I didn't stop myself. That's what studying will do to you. That's what, I know when people are studying, because once you start studying, you're up all night. You're every hour. It's like, I'm going to put this down and go to bed, and then you look up, and another hour has gone by. I got to put this down and go to bed. I got to go to work tomorrow, and another hour has gone by, and then before you know it, it's 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and now you better not go to sleep because you're going to oversleep. So invariably you end up with bags under your eyes because you're always up studying, because it becomes an adventure. And you start to realize that, man, it wasn't hiding this stuff at all. It was right in front of us all the time. But also it shows you that 15 December, yesterday's broadcast. 15 December. MHHS, it's an email. Send an email to MHHS, eyes wide open, @gmail.com. And you will be put on the mailing list, so you will get future syllabuses as well. You know what, we're going to have to, at some point, gather together all the previous syllabuses and maybe put them in a book or something and make them available, because every broadcast we try to give something for people to think about. Because, you know, the prophet said, if I can just get you to start thinking, you'd free yourself. Now you see what a borough means. You have some information that you can take and do some more research and subsequently free yourself. Now, something else I wanted to show, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this today because it's after 8 o'clock and I needed all of the 7:30 to 10 o'clock time. Because what I was going to do is, you had a question? You want to look up municipality? Yes, but I'll give it to you. I think I might have it bookmarked. Let me see if I surprise myself again. Say that again, I can't hear you. Municipality? Oh, geez. Let me go to the dictionary. I'm already there. Look at that. Surprised myself. They actually have in the Blackboard Dictionary, they have a definition for municipal corporation. How about that? Municipality, M-U-N-I-C-I, P-A-L-I-T-Y. Now, the definition for municipality reads, a legal, incorporated, or duly authorized association of inhabitants of limited area for local governmental or other public purposes. A body politic created by the incorporation of the people of a prescribed locality invested with subordinate powers of legislation to assist in the civil government of the state and to regulate and administer local and internal affairs of the community. Hold on. And though sometimes limited in its application to cities only, it ordinarily includes towns as well as cities of all classes, and may on occasion include townships, counties, freeholders, school districts, board of and every kind and character of public corporations which are created by statute or the Constitution of the state. I want to pause right there. Does any state have the authority to establish a state within a state? No. No. Now, and that's in Article 4 of the American Constitution. Now, even though they want to call it a municipality, if you look up the definition of a state is, where is that definition? I don't have it here, but the definition of state, really, it says a body politic created by a group of people with common customs and something another. People, right. Now, that sounds like the same definition of municipality, right? So they're calling it a municipality, but really, when you look at the definition of state, they're really creating a state within a state. And that is forbidden according to Article 4 of the American Constitution. But here's the thing. For example, New York, all of the boroughs and the cities and the counties, well, I'm going to focus on the 5 boroughs and New York City, or New York County, really, because they have a county and a city, right? All corporations. All of these were established prior to 1640? 1640, I think it is. Long before the Constitution was drafted, right? Now, what's interesting is this Constitution was drafted. Now, the purpose for the Constitution being drafted was so that no corporation can infringe on the rights of the people ever again, because they were out of control. Guess what? They're out of control again. You know why? Because they have infiltrated the people. They've infiltrated the Moors, really, and they have miseducated all of the Moors and a good majority of modern Europeans. If you're not in their elite group, you're on like a need-to-know basis, which means you don't know much. So they have miseducated everyone. We have wasted our time in these institutions that they call school, high school, college, university. All of us, we have wasted time, we have wasted finance, but most of all, we have wasted energy, and we have wasted our lives for nothing. Because if the corporations are in charge of passing on information, the people are never going to know. Never going to know. And that's why none of us know that all of these things, a governor is the CEO of the state. That's not government. You see, the Constitution, I can't say it enough, the Constitution was written to protect the people from infringement by all corporations, every single one of them, even those that are called government. And there's case law. There's a case law that and Ross, I think, read it last night. There's a case law that reads that government cannot interact with people because it is it's a fictitious creature. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but basically it's saying it's a fictitious creature. That's like saying, quote, let's say this table is a corporation, right? Can this table interact with you?
Not at all.
It's an impossibility, right? And that's why it's an impossibility for anybody to say that the state versus a flesh and blood being. The fact that you're receiving documents that says a corporation, a fiction, is versing a flesh and blood being, that is evidence of treason. I don't want to hear that, oh, but the name is in all caps. So prove to me that having an appellation, your family appellation in all caps, equals you are a corporation and you didn't know about it? You see what I'm saying? So then you have people that say, oh, well, you know, you got that birth certificate. Show me how you can prove lawfully that a piece of paper that says birth certificate equals you are a corporation. Everything in law. We say to these modern Europeans, show me your delegation of authority. Now, what that means is we're saying, prove to me that you are government. Prove to me, because every time you make a claim, you have to put your proof on the table. So now we're asking them to provide me with verifiable documentation that you are government. What makes you think that you ought not provide them with verifiable documentation that their birth certificate means that you are a fiction? You, flesh and blood, put your brain. Show me the proof of that. What court? All right. What bank?
That's what it is.
How do you prove that?
Because every time you go in there, it's exchange of fiat.
But that doesn't mean it's a. What?
They fill up a box.
No. See, are you telling me that if you were going to go and present a claim, that would be your evidence? Well, we're talking law here now. Now, I'm not saying you can't use that in your writ, but even if you use it in your writ and you provide the definition, you still have to provide proof. Do you have any deposits, withdrawals, anything? See, that would be verifiable proof. But you know what? I'm going to tell you, there is a way for you to get that type of proof. Because you're dealing with a corporation, right? Anybody know accounting? That's our failing grace. Many of us don't know accounting. Accounting 101. Every corporation has to have a balance sheet. Every corporation has to have a balance sheet. And since every corporation is exchanging some form of revenue/income or income/revenue, they got to have what? Who would be maintaining the balance sheet? Who? I heard it. Comptroller or they could be called the treasurer, right? How many people have written to the comptroller/treasurer, asked them for a copy of the balance sheet referencing certain person? Because, see, if a corporate, we just found out that a borough is a corporation. Previously, we found out that a city and a county also is a corporation, right? But the state is not the one that's attacking you. We got to focus on who's attacking us right now. Who's attacking you? County, city, town, township, borough. Don't they all have a comptroller? Don't they, or they call him a treasurer? Or they have one of each, right? Has anybody written to them? Strategy. Then you can't just go and write to them just, because I told you tonight. You have to come up with an effective strategy, and you have got to be the sleeping giant that you are. Which means you need to read the story of Troy. How many people know the story of Troy? Well, you can watch the movie too, but you have to understand some of the strategies. There's one specific piece of strategy in the story of Troy. Anybody know what it is? The Trojan horse. That's right. Now, your strategy has to be, you have to come up with a Trojan horse that can go in anonymously, gather information, don't put anybody on notice, don't get anybody's hair raised, because your objective is to get the information. Your objective is not to go in there and disclose private and confidential information about yourself. That means that you don't necessarily need to send a writ in with your seal, because we're doing them. How many people know that every day you get writs of discoveries that are not even called writs of discoveries? Well, you got to do the same thing. How many people have ever gotten one of the Capital One, been sending them out in droves, 21%? That's a writ of discovery. Are you working? What's your income bracket? How many people in the home? Where do you live? What's your name? What's your social security number? But now here's how they reel in the bait. They say you have been pre-approved for a $25,000 credit card. Just give me this information, and we'll see if you apply, qualify. Now they done got all your private and confidential information, enough to open a funnel. Do they need to give you a credit card? Nope. We have to be smart like that. We need to learn how to send in a Trojan horse. Like, let me think. Let me think of one. Because you've got to think strategically. Like Jack Brown. Something that doesn't sound intimidating. You don't want to put at the top of your status, and you want to make up a story. I've been doing some research. The best kinds of stories to make up is, I'm going to school, and I have to do this for schoolwork. What? It don't matter. I learned how to do a title search because I went into the town, what do they call it, the town records, the land records, so-called land records, and I didn't know how to use it. But they had these little instructions, and I was trying to figure out, and there was this European daughter sitting next to me, and she says, "You need help?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." And I saw her getting ready to ask me, "What are you trying to do?" And I said, "I'm taking a class in title search." And our assignment is to do a title search on where we live now. She was like, "Oh, no problem. Let me show you how to do it." And I printed a couple of copies of this, that, and the other, the mortgage, the specifications, the picture of the house. Put it on my tab. No problem. I should have took her name down because I have been back there since. I should have been putting some other stuff on her tab, but that's all right. I don't need to do that because it taught me something. It taught me how to be a Trojan horse. That means you want to fly under the radar. You don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers. You don't want anybody to get suspicious. And the best way to gather information is in writing. Because some of you guys, I'm going to tell you right now, your best weapon is a sister. Because as soon as you big, chocolatey, beautiful sons walk through the door, everybody's eyes are going to follow you. And you will not be able to meet your objectives because they will be suspicious. What's he doing in here? Y'all supposed to be illiterate. And a lot of times we don't know how to dress the part. If you're going to go into the land records, you want to dress up in a suit and tie, act like you're a realtor, put on some alligator shoes. Come on now, dress the part. You don't want to come in there with, looking like you get ready to rob the place, all thugged out, with your combat boots and everything. You don't want to come in there because they will watch you like a hawk. You will not be able to get into the vault to get to the book. They'll block you at every path. So either send in your secret weapon, which is her, or wear a suit and you work for Century 21. What is your objective? What is your objective? Get the information. Listen to Ivan Van Sertima. I love Ivan Van Sertima. He had me hyped up. I had to stop watching him. I'm going to go back to watch him, but I had to calm down because he had me hyped up. I felt like I was sounding like Ivan Van Sertima for a minute because he's so passionate. He's so on point. He's just telling you, it's the Moors. And he's really funny. But he told me how they found the nose and the chin for the Sphinx in a museum. Did you see that? They had the nose and the chin in a museum. And some guy called him up and he said, look, another researcher, and he says, I saw the nose and the chin in the museum. And Ivan said, are you sure? He said, yes, it's it. It's in this museum in Great Britain. And he says, well, you got to get in there and take a picture. And he says, how am I going to get in there? He said, get in there, man. Just get in there. Take the job. Get the picture. I was like, yes. Yes. And for those of you who don't know, Empress Bertiassi of the Washita family, that's exactly what she did. She was in there cleaning up the White House and got into the libraries and found all the history of the Washita family. Yes, she was in there cleaning. Everybody looking down there, I ain't going in cleaning shoes. She was in there cleaning because they got to go home. And she went into the libraries and found all this information. So what can I say? Brothers, y'all know y'all don't want to go in nowhere and clean up nothing. That's why you got to send in your secret weapon, her. Send her in, let her get the information, and come back, and y'all sit around the table and strategize how you're going to use it. But you can't come up with a strategy if you ain't got no information. You can't get the information if they block you upon sight. And sisters, don't be going in there looking like the around the way girl, because they'll block you too. But we have got to get as much information. We are in serious catch-up mode, and if you haven't felt it, time has sped up again. It's been speeding up since 2008, and I have felt it. It's sped up again. Something is about to be birthed. I am excited because I ain't even worried about it. We either something is going to something beautiful is going to open up, or I am going to pass one. Either way, it's a beautiful thing. I don't care. But something is going to be birthed. And we all have got to be ready for it. We've got to start studying. Now, I'm saying that all of these institutions, these corporations, because let me tell you, I like to have conversations with myself, and sometimes I surprise myself and I say things, so I got to always use the sound recorder on my phone because I start talking, because I'll have these thoughts because I'm studying. So I have these thoughts that I got something to think about because I'm studying, and then all of a sudden I'll start talking and I feel that I'm getting ready to blurt something out, and I'm like, oh, let me go to do the sound record when I remember, and I remembered yesterday I started talking and recording this thing, and I was like, oh, wow, I surprised myself when I listened to it again. Because when you're studying, when you start studying, I'm telling you, stuff is going to come up out of you. Turn the radio, all that trash they call music, turn it off. Because it ain't doing nothing but blocking up your communication with yourself. That's all it's doing. It's blocking your communication. Turn it off. And you will be amazed at some of the thoughts that come to the surface of your brain. You're gonna have to have your sound recorder on standby for real, because you'll start thinking things. And for me, I have to speak it. I have to speak it, or I'm compelled to speak it. Even if I'm in the car by myself, I am compelled to speak because then it gets clearer for me. And I was thinking how, they have, and I've said this, they have people say, oh, I'm going to court. I'm like, you are? How do you know you're going to court? How do you know you're going to court? No, I'm asking a question. How do you know you're going to court? That means you're going to court? So if I send you a summons, you coming to court? But I'm asking you, how do you know you're going to court? How do you know you're going to court? So if I send you a letter, you're going to think, if I say, I need you to show up at such and such a place at such and such a time, you're going to show up, and in your mind you're going to think you're going to court? How do you know you're going to court? So if I say that to you, you're going to think that? I'm asking you because I'm telling you I was having this epiphany yesterday, and I have to share it with you. How do you know you're going to court? Say it again. Delegation of authority. How many people in here have ever received a delegation of authority? Nobody? Nobody? So how do you know you're going to court? Because that's what we... But so if I send you a paper that says you're coming to court, but you see what I'm saying, right? But now, none of us know when we're going to court. Now we know it's yes, they are a corporation. But I'm saying, if I was to send you a piece of paper, if I was to send any of you a piece of paper saying you need to show up at such and such a time on such and such a day, I'm going to send a warrant, and the place you need to come to, this is the mailing, and this is the location. Are you going to automatically think you're going to court?
Nah, I would look for a way to take my way out.
But that's the solution. I'm just saying, if you receive it, your immediate thought is, oh, court. Speak up. No, this is not your rebuttal. You just received something. This is prior to any rebuttal. You're just looking at it, and you're looking at it, and immediately you, oh, I got to go to court. How do we know? The paper, so if I send you a paper saying come to court, you're going to immediately think you're coming to court? You would think that? What about you? Say that again? You've received an affidavit? No, come on now. Come on. Let's talk reality here. Let's talk about what you have received, not what they ought to be sending. They want you to do something. They want you. So the paper is saying, I want you to do something. But my question is, how does it turn into, oh, I'm going to court? So a signature and a seal determines if you're going to a court by a judge? So if it says warrant for your arrest, you're going to a court, yeah? It has to be, so you're saying, but that's only if it's a warrant. But here's the kicker for that. You're saying that if they create a warrant, the warrant has to be executed by a sheriff. But that's fraud. Because see, if any sheriff attacks the people, that's police disguised as sheriff. Yes. If you don't respond, I'm not talking about your response. I'm talking about what gets you to think you're going to court. It says court. Yes, we have. Yes.
To show up and respond first in a human.
Yes, you're right.
To look that person in the eye and see what kind of.
Right. Now, I want to tell you something, because all of this is great, because I was at the same exact place, but the universe put my coattail. I didn't get it, but I got it over time. I had to go to so-called small claims court with my daughter. I forget what some credit card business. You know, they supposedly loaned some money, the bankrupt corporation loaning money. What the hell? So I went there on behalf of my daughter, because, you know, when they call you and they don't know who you are, anybody can go in and speak. Are you something? Yes, I am. Let's move on. What are we here today for? Can you raise your hand? No, let's move on. But anyways, you show up, right? And I never show up. You know what? To be polite, I don't have to be polite. But to be polite, I always stand outside when they say, all rise for the judge. Because I know you're not a judge. I ain't rising, but I ain't going to be so blatant and rude and disrespectful. All right, I'm going to let you save face. I'm going to give you the opportunity to save face. If you don't take it, then it's another thing. But I'm going to give you the opportunity to save face. So I didn't get the name of the person sitting in the seat, because they're not a magistrate and they're not a judge. Because we're dealing with a corporation, right? So I went to the clerk's office and I said, what is the name of the judge in small claims? Now remember, I'm at court, right? And she said, oh, they're not a part of this court. They just rent the room.
Oh, yeah. I hear that one. I don't understand.
They just rent the room. That's why I'm asking you, how do you know you're going to court? And I was like, wow, if we get it together, can go and rent a freaking room in a building called a court and summon in employees of a court As well. But the key is we gotta get it together. We can't be calling a man for no foolishness. If you prove to me that this is the birth certificate and you're collecting money, what? Shut up.
But when you're dealing with them like that, I gotta get cookies.
Yes.
When you're dealing with them like that, here's the problem. They look at you and they think, all you're supposed to be is Negro, colored, black, or African American.
You ain't supposed to know this stuff.
Listen, these young men, they can't get past that because we've allowed them to make us think, to agree to black consent, by lack of knowledge, whatever.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So they'll sit there and turn red, right?
Yes.
Because they don't know what else to think. They'll really, purely just don't get
They don't know.
They
don't know.
We haven't said it.
They don't know, and we're just now learning. And I got to tell you, the prophet said, "Be nice to the Europeans as they fall down and you rise up, because this is the rise of the Moor." If you don't know it, I'm here to tell you, this is the rise of the Moors. All right, we can't go down no further. We can only rise up. And look, part of the reason that I do this class is to help as many of you as possible rise up, because you got to rise up to a certain degree so you can be above the knife that's coming through by Mother Nature. All right, so you got to get the information so you can rise up, so you can be above the knife, because it's coming across. All right. That's not what I said. Look, if you know you're dealing with a corporation, that's why you ask for a delegation of authority. One of the big challenges that we have as a people is we really don't even know how a corporation runs. We don't know. We know, but we don't know. Because how many people know that all corporations must have indemnity insurance? Indemnity insurance. In order for you to be in business, you have to have insurance. Every corporation must have indemnity insurance. How many people know this? You see what I'm saying? Insurance. Liability insurance. If something happens to one of the consumers that come through the door, you got to have insurance to cover it. It is a company. But how many people know this? You know it. All of y'all know it. They have told you in funny movies, slip and fall. Remember, there's Friday. Oh, I slipped and fell. I'm getting paid. Somebody's got their phone on, and I'm hearing. Oh, all right. How many of y'all know that if you walk into Walmart and slip and fall, you're going to get paid? How many know this? What you think that is they paying you with? Indemnity insurance is liability insurance. How many people know that every so-called practicing doctor has to have malpractice insurance? That's indemnity insurance. They all have to have it, all of them. So when you ask a corporation disguised as government for their delegation of authority, what are you asking them for? What are you asking them for first? When you send in the agreement of jurisdiction quo warranto, how many people have looked up the word quo warranto? Let's go to our Black Law Dictionary and look up quo warranto, because, I looked it up years ago. I don't have it bookmarked. And, and unfortunately, we don't have our hard book. All right. Quo warranto. Let me see. Q. Prudential estate. Let me see. Quo warrant PQ. Let's do that. Quo warranto. You need to go and look up the definition of this. I remember it because it was just that impacting. Quo warranto in your Black's Law 4th edition dictionary. Quo, Q-U-O, Warren, oh goodness, quorum, quo war. Oh, somebody spell quo warranto for me. Q-U-O. Wait a minute, Q-U-O. Oh, quote. That's why I'm not finding. I'm trying to find one word. Those trick words. I want to read it because it's very telling. It's actually telling the people just how much power you have. Here we go. Quo warranto. An old English practice, a writ, in the nature of a writ of right for the king against him who claimed or usurped any office, franchise, or liberty to inquire by what authority? Do you hear me?
Say that again.
A writ in the nature of a writ of right for the king against him who claimed or usurped any office, franchise, or liberty to inquire by what authority he supported his claim in order to determine the right. So basically what it's saying is, we talked about you getting all of these demands in the mail. You send in a quo warranto, and it's saying, by what authority are you sending me this demand? What is your claim? By what authority? What authority do you have to even talk to me? And from a very, very elementary place, 9 times out of 10, these demands are coming from modern Europeans. All right? So there's an issue of nationality. We are not of the same family. How do you have the right to demand anything of me? All right? But let's not even get into the nationality issue. I mean, we will. But let's look at who is sending it. A fiction, a corporation, right? Exactly. And then they say, well, a court. Okay, well, if you are a court, I am demanding by what authority? The Constitution, the supreme law of this land says that all powers must be delegated. All powers, I think it's the 9th or 10th Bill of Rights. All powers must be delegated. Then you have Article 3, and it says, all judicial powers is vested in the one Supreme Court of the United States or any inferior court that may be established from time to time. Which means if you're claiming to be an inferior court, you must have a delegation of authority from Congress. Else you have no authority to make a judicial demand of me. That's why you ask for the admin of jurisdiction quo warranto. Now, I hear a lot of brothers and sisters, well, they didn't get any delegation of authority. They didn't answer, so I sent them a notice of default. What? Okay, but back up. Before we get into the notice of default and default, what does it mean if they don't send you an admin of jurisdiction? Yes, that's so obvious, but what else does it mean? No. They just told you something. You need to listen. If you're sending them an admin of jurisdiction quo warranto because the possession is their government, they don't give it to you. What did they just tell you? Say it again. They're not government. So if they're not government, what else could they be? No, a corporation. Now, whether they're a government or a corporation, see, me people miss this. When you ask for an admin of when you make a demand, an admin of jurisdiction, they have to send you either their delegation of authority, that they are government sanctioned, or they have to send you their charter, because the charter tells you the same thing that a delegation of authority tells you, what they can and cannot do. But whether they provide you with one of these, both of them come with their indemnity information. They have to give you their indemnity information because you are making a claim. And guess what? They presume to make a claim against you. And they get your indemnity information. Yes, they do. You just don't know it's indemnity information, and there's no way for you to prove it. But they're getting it. And they are getting credits and debits because there is no move money, so it's just a movement of credits and debits. That's all it is. So they're getting credit. You're getting nothing. No, sir. Go, what's your question? Good.
I bring all the proofs to the court that we will call.
No, you never bring anything.
No,
Wait, go ahead.
I went 6 places.
All right.
And I have tickets because I went.
No, you don't have tickets, honey.
No, I mean, I have a suit.
No, you don't.
Okay.
It's not difficult. You have a demand for income. You have to call it what it is. They're demanding income. Did they provide a product?
No.
A service? So thank you.
Yeah.
Why is it illegal? No. Why is it illegal? You thought I thought you had me. No, it's illegal because he's demanding income and no product or service has been given. So that means it's what? Well, see, racketeering, right. But see, before we can get into due process, because see, yeah, you're right. They're doing out due process of law, but guess what? That's what crooks do. And that's what a lot of these corporations do. That's what they've always done. Go back to 1774. That's what they've always done. These foreign corporations. The corporations that were here didn't do that. But these foreign corporations, they come here and they lie, they steal, they cheat, they violate the people's liberties all day long, and the people are quiet because it's not that they're quiet because they don't want to say anything. They don't know what to say because they don't even know that they're being robbed. And then all of the information that we've been given is all fraud, trash, fictitious, even the history of who we are. The one vote, one picture of the slave ship. Everybody knows the one picture of the slave ship. All these damn slaves and one picture of all the slaves and the one vote. When we was here all along, and let me tell you, to add insult to injury, in the Declaration of Independence, they are the ones that came over here on the boat in boxes. They are the ones. And we're sitting here trading places with them. Something like, yeah, I've been a slave for 300 years. No, that was them. They tell you in their celebrated every 4th of July, yeah, we've been free for 400 years. Every year they say it, and then we turn around in February and talk about, I've been enslaved for 400 years. You were enslaved, but that is not our history. Let's go back before then. Let's go back to when we was doing brain surgery. All right, let's go back to when we was building pyramids. They still haven't figured out how we did that. Let's go back to how we were painting, meticulous painting inside a pyramid, 4, 5, 6 stories below ground, and there's no sign that some primitive cracks like what do they call it? No. You know when they wrap wood with oil and light it up so that you get torch. No evidence of torch on the pyramid. So how did they light up 3, 4, 5, 6 below ground to make such intricate paintings? We have the information in us, in our DNA, and that's why they always have one of us by their side. Obama got Michelle, waiting for her to come up with something from her DNA. They always got one of us by their side because the history is in our blood. They're studying us. The reason they're studying us is because the mothers, is the full package. Son is less than the full package, but these modern Europeans, they are way less than the package. That's why the son is always trying to kill them. How many people know what skin cancer is? We don't ever get skin cancer. Anybody know any melanated people with skin cancer? Oh, no melanated person with skin cancer, right? Guess what skin cancer is? Leprosy. We run around here. Don't know what's what. But let me tell you something else. I'm hoping that this will work. I did this so wrong. How many people read the book? Oh, I know, I just want to. How many people read the book, Correcting the Position of the IRS? Yes. Yep. It's Rise probably has it in the back. Can somebody check and make sure I'm going over well? Somebody let me know that the sound is going over well. I just switched. Correcting the position of the IRS. One of the things that I wrote in there, I don't know, when did I put that together? Good, all right, wonderful. I don't know what year I put that together, but in there, I wrote the Philippine World Trade Center, the Global Corporation, the Corporation Corporation, well, the tax company, the company going on. So, I do automate, but this is different. So I'm home. It was confronted today. They had sent something out to what they call Canada and also what they call the media, right? Now, did you know that when you say something, a declaration form,
not late, but, you know, I'm trying to wrap up a lot of things before I come up here. So I'm like, okay, let me interrupt this thing really quick. You gotta pray so that you can analyze on the spot. And did I blame? Did I go, oh, hold on. I think I brought a copy of this book because I want to talk about it. Oh, please tell me I put it in there. I was just going to make that myself if I did. Yes, I did. But this is not the section that I wanted. But anyway, the declaration is, all right? This is part they give you. I got some more at home. I'm going to bring it in so we can analyze it together. But this is
corporation. The Netherlands is a corporation. Japan is a corporation. China is a corporation. United States is a United Corporation. Africa is a corporation. All these land corporations, all these corporations, everything that they have to make a name on the land is a corporation. All of it. And this is how they take the care of the because they say, where are you going? And we say, where am I going? You're not going to you know, you and two young sons. They just went to court. I only speak when the universe propels me to speak. But this listening was for me, and I'm looking at these two sons that are so clueless. And I don't think they're ready to hear, because I'm listening to them talk about their baby mama drama. And I'm like, no, they ain't ready. They both got baby mama drama. One of the guys got his pants right down here, under the entry. I'm like, oh God. And see, when I know that the minor teens start wearing their pants like that because it was convenient for them, because that's how they get down. And we picked that up. So when you dress like that and you walk into one of these buildings with a court on top in front, that's all they see is dollar signs, because they know you're asleep because you're imitating them. They know it. They know that, oh, we're going to get paid today. And they did. And they pulled the attorney guy. I'm listening to these two sons. They're talking about these attorneys. And it was really, it wasn't, I felt bad, but I felt that it was more of a lesson. Sometimes it's better to listen than to speak, because the lesson is for you. And when you start yakking, you miss the lesson that is for you. And I'm just so glad that I kept my mouth shut and I listened, because the brother was saying, both of them, man, I should have just pleaded guilty, because at least I wouldn't have this ankle bracelet on and I'd be able to move. This is what he said. And I'm like, wow, he's not ready, unfortunately. And it was clear that he was a young guy, very young guy, but so not ready. And I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, what would we have to do? What would we have to do to help them to wake up so that they can get some, so that they can get some assistance? But it's I don't think so. It was, but I don't think it is anymore. But anyway, it is. It's about 9:30, and we have. Do you want to speak into the mic? Because I'm getting ready to bring him up here. That one does. And that one does. And I need one of the over-the-air mics. One of the over-the-air mics. You know what? I don't even want to introduce the circumstances, situations that I've referenced those about the fear we see, because really, I think we can introduce it better than either one of us can experience. Really? Wait, really? Did you get the mic? Oh, you got the mic. All right. The mic. So cut that off and get the mic. Get this thing out. It's on. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Brother Redfield. He has something to share with the family. But before I turn it over to Redfield, you all need to think about what we just talked about today. All right, well, we will continue talking on this. Because this mic is going out over there. This mic is going out over there. All right. All right. All right. All right. So, well, he'll let us know when it's ready. But in the meantime, I wanted to say we need to think about this because you keep claiming to be members of these various different corporations on planet Earth. So we need to begin to not just re-educate ourselves, but we need to re-educate fellow Moors that we come in contact with. And when we're putting stuff down on paper, we need to put things that are correct. For example, like I said, you put near. What's the city and state? You put there and then brackets, city, state, zip, close brackets. What?
I mean, you're.
Oh, it's still going on. Oh, all right. Oh, here. All right.
Un momento.
The reason that you put it in brackets, but anything that's in a bracket is not there. That's fine. That's why you put it in a bracket. That is the question.
A moment, I don't want to stare. Meeting. It's ready to go, correct?
Yeah.
Jeffrey, are you still good? Red Pill, would you just do a test that we make sure we need?
Right.
That's all we need. We want to introduce. You're going to stick with them, right? Yeah, with them on this because I got to get this stuff. We want to introduce them.
All right. So, one last thing. Also, when you're filling out your paperwork, you're going to fill it out the same way when they ask for a country. What is the country? What is the country? Where are you now? Now you're at North America. No. You just put North America. That's it. North America. I would have put it down on the board, but the board is disappeared and it's too late to bring it up. But what we're going to do is
No, I just wanted to say this because you were talking about, like you said, put North America, and a lot of people, when they're doing that, thing that they shouldn't be doing anyway, which is trying to make buoy a birth certificate or make it buoy the bull when it's already buoy from inception because it's proof of being attracted. Then they end up actually, by doing so, excruciating themselves out of their ancestral state by that very process, right? And they usually put, they'll say, what's the country, and what do they put? They'll put Morocco, the kingdom, instead of right here. Yeah. They'll put anywhere else instead of here. And what they actually are doing, and anyone who's telling you that process, whether they realize it or not, are actually setting you up to expatriate yourself out of your ancestral state. So therefore, you can't say, I'm more American national, but then do that process to take you out of and off of your ancestral state. Do not put other, like some people don't think that they could say Morocco because this is Morocco. You understand? This is Morocco. They're thinking Morocco is king, which is inferior, or they're thinking somewhere else. But where they put it, whatever they're thinking, they shouldn't even doing that process because the process is trying to make a birth certificate void or voidable, and it is void from its inception because it is an instrument that proves human trafficking. Therefore, it's toxic. Therefore, you shouldn't be touching it.
Oh, really?
You can say North America, but I'm going to keep saying, if you look, Donald Trump is currently in actively in South America, and he would say, this is my ancestry, would say, Black national domicile badge, South America. Yeah, true, but it's all America. It's South America, North America, Central America, and the United States. It's just America. America. Yes. But the whole thing, that is it. That is the country. They just don't have it listed as that because it don't belong to them, so they can't claim it. In other words, they come in and they can't claim to America. The only people who can claim America is the country are the Americans, the nationals. We are the American nationals. Now, they're not used to hearing that because they didn't learn just like you didn't learn. So you have to speak in an intelligent tone, stand on your square about your information, and that's it, that's all. I mean, you're going to have to learn, but don't turn red first. Because when you say, like I had an experience too, this passage, but regardless, when I said, well, you know, there are American nationals. And they do things that they just beat red because they thought they were the Americans. You understand? We really got to understand this. That it is, he said, everybody has to wake up. Because they really don't get it. They see you, all they see is you're supposed to be a Negro or color or black or African American. And that's what we allow them to believe for generations after generations after generations. And some people still want the pride of I'm black and I'm proud, not understanding that they are devoiding any national or international intercourse at all and any status of being a black and black being because people are not identified by colors and labels and coins. Right. Here's what you can say. You will learn yourself. Yes. Yes. That's right. The living you know has helped you a lot, right. Study. A lot of people think that they can just find out about the nationality, learn one thing, and then go out and on it. No, they took you in this is the answer I was going to tell you to get people to actually where you get it from. You say to them, I got it from the same public school system or school system that we all went to. And that school system is administrated by corporations who have an interest in making everybody employees and workers for corporations. I found that that's not really government. That's the answer you give them, and then you give them your reference to the website, because that's what it really, truly is all about. Yes, he does. Okay, you are the government. Last night on our show, we did the same thing. People think this building is the government. The government is governmental. It's the people. If there's a government entity that has established itself as a government entity, when you go and visit it, walk into this discourse with them, whatever way, they are not going to be there trying to violate your rights. That's the first sign that they're not a government entity. The people. The real law of this land is the Constitution, and it was established with the free law of the land. It was established for, really, the Constitution was established for farmers and people who came here on how to behave on our land. It wasn't established for Moors. It was established for Moors to enforce it, which is our obligation as humans, which we have not, of course, been doing. So therefore, these other people who the Prophet said you must enforce it so that you are not molested by these other citizens, they have been molesting us because we won't even honor our own law of our own land because we think and thought we had to come from Africa, and we go on back home and we abandon in thought and mind and allow them to trash our stuff. Just that simple. At this point, you think about that, you keep studying because the Prophet said study, study, study. And when you have studied well, and you would ask what to study next, study yourself. So thanks for giving that a testament that you, like you said, I came, I thought something, and then I realized I got to study some more. Listen to last night's show. Susanna E. brought that home really, really well. You can give her your email address, your text address on your phone, and she'll put you on the list. She'll put your name. Okay. Oh, I don't know, but there's somebody that's actually putting all of the things on YouTube because of troubles that people might be having, and we really don't care if it's public anyway. So ask us about that later, all right? All right. And now,
all right. But now, without further ado, we have my son, Raphael.
Hey, we've been on the show a couple of times. He's invited us both, so, we do. All right.
Hey, family, what's wrong? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can be free. All right? And at the same time, that goes out over the air, and this one goes out in here. All right.
So, I've been coming to class for about 8 years. I had the pleasure of being in the company of Sister RVBey, Taj, all of the family, Gael, a plethora of people who come and left. Ali Muhammad, Cheyenne. I remember when this class was 200 deep plus. I mean, it used to be so crowded that people would be in the hallway. People went about, started their own organizations. But I want to testify tonight about a test that I was put through, but it allowed me to have a testimony. So this is my testament. Every so often people come through here and, after class they go up to Roz and they're having these legal issues and things of that nature. And then we see people pop up. So throughout the 9 years, I've seen people come and go, But we don't really know what they've gone through. And we don't know what their triumphs are. Or we don't know what their failures are. Or we don't know what it is that they utilize to get in front of us. Because when they kidnap you, it's game over. I don't care if you're a tough guy. I don't care if you got money. I don't care about anything. You could be a Kemetic, Hebrew, whatever your affiliation with. When the door closed, when them gates close on you, when they shut you down, if you're not properly prepared, right, to come from purgatory, to come from within, if you're not able to go within to get your ass out, you're in trouble. So we're going to talk about the divine tonight, because we deal with paperwork and all of that stuff, but we're not focusing on the divine side. And the divine side is what's going to activate that paperwork. You know what I'm saying? The divine aspect of what are you doing in your everyday life as a Moor to help you in situations when your ass gets trapped up. Or not just trapped up, because remember, it's like when we were Christians, you know, people just calling on Jesus around Christmas time or when the rent is due. You know, it's like you're using your get out of jail free card, or you're using these powers when you get trapped up for something that you did. You was in the wrong. And now you calling on grandma and everybody, and your ass is wrong. But when nothing is going wrong, you're not calling on them. You got these Moors that be popping up, and all they want to do is fight a parking ticket. And when the parking ticket is done, their asses disappear. They put the feds in the closet. Or they dust the feds off when them boys is on their backs. Right? So, I don't want to be long-winded, but I went to Detroit. How convenient that I was in Detroit, and all the Moors know about the history of Detroit. And there was a lecture that we did called a STEAM conference: Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, Mathematics, Strategy, brought to you by Marcus Garvey. The European made STEM out of that. That was originally Marcus. So we did a conference to resurrect that. It was Sarah Sutin-Setti, Red Pill, Blue Pill, Minister Inky, who else? KT, the Arts Degree, my younger brother, a few other people. A demonstration in unity, nonetheless. Brothers and sisters from all the divine prospects, from the Hebrew Israelites, brothers from different backgrounds, schools of thought and ideology. It's the same way if a brother from Harvard, Yale, Oxford, and Princeton was on stage. We need to stop the tripping, because it's really not that serious. Because when we're all in the room, you see that there's unity. The God was here this weekend on Saturday Cosmic. How did it feel? Did it feel like the nation that we keep talking about? Did it feel like the empire that you're reading about? But what about the real-time stuff? Because I'm not into, I'm an artist. I do comics, but I go to Comic-Con when it comes to all of that. You feel me? I'm not with the fantasy. Let's deal with what's real. Like, what do we do in real life? So when we do gatherings, we need everybody there, because the demonstration isn't, we ain't had to kill no chickens. Nobody had to get harmed or hurt. It's just there. It's so easy. Come together, figure out ways not to leave, and then you got your nation. Simple as that. I don't like going home after these gatherings when I come together. It causes, like, depression, you know what I mean? Because I got to go back to the madness, the damn 5 train and stuff like that. I don't like that. I just want to get away. I want to get off the grid. When we come together, we like, yo, the frequencies is high enough. I'm good. Let's just go somewhere and work this out. If we got to detox, if we got to build, whatever we got to do. But the initial response is what we've been looking for. And this has happened on multiple occasions, and there's going to come a time where the doors are going to get shut. We're not leaving until we get this thing right. You know what I'm saying? Because families are involved. Freedom, they took my freedom, dog. Do you know what that feels like? Somebody called me earlier and was like, yo, how do you feel? You got all of these people who went through this before, but they have become intoxicated with this matrix, and they don't realize that everything that they need, they got that. I was like, yo, I could go and get something to eat when I want to. I could go to the bathroom in private. You feel what I'm saying? I could actually walk outside of my door. How dare you ask me, how do I feel? How the hell do you feel, Negro? You don't, because you don't even realize what freedom is. You out here complaining about the freedom that you don't got, not realizing your ass got all of the freedom that you need, because there's a place where they'll take that freedom, and then you'll really know what this shit feels like to not have freedom. You know what I mean? Y'all running around complaining. You got Whole Foods. You can walk into Whole Foods, homeboy. You know what I mean? You can make anything that you want to change right now. And then there's people in other parts of the world who wish they had it as good as you got it. But we so fucking arrogant, pardon my French. We are so arrogant. What are we really trying to do? We are so arrogant about the things that we want. But let me get into the situation. I was on a stage at Wayne University, because people looking at me like, oh, what did you do? I was on a stage at Wayne University in Detroit on Sunday. On Monday, I was in Wayne County Airport. Later on that day, I was in Wayne County Jail. And if anybody could Google that, that is the worst jail in America. Okay? That is one of the and it's not just the inmates, it's the Negroes there. Okay? That's Chocolate City. I've never been to a more aboriginal. I love Detroit. I had the time of my life in Detroit. I'm a Scorpio. So dystopian environments and dark stuff like the Dark Forest, we relate to things like that because we can figure out what to do with it. You dig what I'm saying? So I was born in New York in the 70s. So I was born into a dystopian society where everything was dilapidated and all of that. So as a baby, that's what I was downloading. So now at 40 years old, when I got to Detroit, that's what I was downloading. And I was like, yo, I see the potential. I did stop in the airport because the flight, we missed at 6 a.m., me and my twin, we missed at 6 a.m. I had words with the lady at Spirit Airline. That's my airline. Keep that in mind. Spirit Airline. So I'm like, they was trying to tell me I had to pay an extra $300-some-odd to travel. And I was like, that's not happening. You know, we're getting on this plane. You're going to make something happen. So in the midst of the conversation, one of the flight attendants using Islamophobia, okay, because the hat says Moor and the jacket, I was wearing one of these jackets. So they was like, yo, they called the authorities because they said that we were becoming rambunctious. And as you know, that the prophet says speak in intelligent tongues. I didn't even use profanity. But the energy, you feel what I'm saying? We're talking about frequencies. Sometimes your frequency is so high that if you're amongst a person whose frequencies are so low, and you got to keep in mind that the spirit goes to war or sits down and have tea with other spirits. Have you ever come amongst a person, y'all just shaking hands and you chilling, but do you realize that your spirit is sword fighting and going to war with that person's spirit as they try to attack you? Huh? Then you're like, yo, oh, I ain't feeling that person. You know, that's the meeting. Higher principalities and things that we cannot see. That's. So I'm like, I'm standing there, and she knows I'm not feeling her. This is one of us, acting like one of them. So make a long story short, the officer comes, right? This is where it kicks in, because when they took my ID, after they was like, we got called, so we need to make a report. Do you have an identification? I said, yeah, I'll tell you who I am. You know what I'm saying? You don't need my ID because there's no crime that has been committed. They said that there was a physical altercation. Did you put hands? Sir, if I put hands on anybody, you wouldn't be asking me if I put hands on somebody. Stop it, Bob. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not falling for that. I would have got tackled down, maced and all of that other stuff. I would have been a world star. So we know that nobody got hurt. So you don't need my ID because I'm leaving. I'm out of here, okay? Because we already resolved the issue. I was on standby. Sir, we need your ID. You know, you got your brother over there. They have my brother in the other area, you know, not really detaining him, but surrounding him, right? So I was like, you know what? Here, just take my ID, run it. All right? Just do what you got to do. Because I knew they was going to run it for a warrant anyway. That's what they do. They're not just writing it down because I heard 01, 34, I'm like, okay. So I'm standing there. Now, when my brother earlier this year got abducted at the Freddie Gray protest, right, in Manhattan, he went right to Union Square as a reporter and got swept up. Then he defeated them in their courts. Then they brought up a situation where they asked him about, hey, there's something going on in Florida from 03. Do you know about that? He was like, no. What are you talking about? That's the same thing that popped up. The guy said, look, the officer came back and said, Florida, the land of flowers, the state of Florida, said that they have a warrant for your arrest. Then he said something strange happened that never has happened on my duty that I don't know. They said that they don't want you. Do not detain. I was like, that's not a problem. Let me get my ID back, but while we're at it, let me get your information, because when I take care of this situation, I'm gonna have to report what the situation stemmed from. So kindly let me get all of your information. He was like, no problem. I got the card in my pocket. He gave me his card. Then he said I will have one of my officials, my policy officers, assist you to go through the gate. I was like, I'm good. I don't need a police escort. You know what I mean? I'm in the airport. I know how to get through the gate, dog. Like, stop it. My flight is 4 hours from now. I just want to get away from, I want to get behind the damn security stuff, because once you go through TSA, you don't deal with them. That's a foreign entity. I'm like, I just want to get away from you guys, because there was a level of uncomfortability that they were giving me because of the fact that they had an Aboriginal melanated man in the airport who they were labeling a fugitive from justice walking away from them with a Moor jacket on. Like, yeah, okay. So 10 minutes later, I was approached by one of the officers with their hands on the holster who said, I have some bad news for you. Because he came the first time, he was like, I got good news for you. And that's when he said that. So I was like, what's your bad news? You know what I mean? Like, what happened? Is it about to rain or something? I thought my flight was delayed. She was like, we got a phone call back and they want you. I was like, shit, that sounds like double jeopardy to me, because if you tell me that somebody doesn't want me and I'm not in the presence of this phone call to say that they do want me, who's to say that you don't want me? Okay? So they took me down. This was on Monday of the week of Thanksgiving. I went into Wayne County system. Okay? It took me until the next Tuesday to officially see a judge, because everything, when Negroes run the joint and it's Thanksgiving week, it shut down on Tuesday. Thanksgiving was on Thursday, and everything was shut down on Tuesday. And the way that they're bringing our brothers into Detroit is a crime against humanity. That's the best way to say it. I'm talking about the most heinous crimes that I've ever witnessed in my life. With teenagers, I'm talking about 18 and 17, they were waking up to homicide. You know what I'm talking about? Are y'all familiar with promethazine and the bars that they take, and, you know, these drugs that these young guys are on makes them spaz out? They're taking mind-altering drugs now. We were doing marijuana when we were young. They're on heroin, liquid heroin, codeine, promethazine. They're popping Xannies and bars. They're taking these mind-altering drugs and waking up with homicides. Like, damn, I didn't know that I did that. I blacked out. How the hell? 2 homicides? I'm like, damn. And like, I've never been, when the prophet said that they were going to curse Detroit, y'all got to give him his props. He said Chicago and Detroit, goddammit, and look what's going on. Like, it is a crime what they're doing to our people. So we got to get in these streets in Detroit. I was having conversations and meetings with brothers right before I went in about what we're going to do to help Detroit. It broke my heart. It broke my heart. But, of course, I switched right into red pill mode. Teaching, giving them advice, breaking things down. Like you said, they are oblivious to anything but a paid lawyer and a goddamn legal aid. They don't know nothing else. This is where your heads are being taken at, in the courtroom. There's no organization or no people in the community that can say anything about the Moors. Nothing. Because when you get into a situation like that, they stopped breaking people out of jail when it was a SADA. You know what I mean? They're not driving Brinks trucks through the walls of these penitentiaries. Okay? Paperwork means something on both ends, the divine and the practical, and that other side. So I went in front of the judge. The officer, before we went in, was like, yo, you got to waive extradition. We're here to see, this is a hearing to waive extradition. It was 4 of us. He was like, you get 10 business days, 14 days in total. If they don't come and get you, you come back in front of this judge. Who has ever been held on an extradition or fugitive charge? How many people have been kidnapped before? Okay, so we could relate, because I don't, yeah. All right, because the people who ain't been kidnapped, they be looking at me like, All right, and like what? I'm like, you don't know you don't know. If you haven't done, you don't know. But knowing somebody and being kidnapped, it is like red and blue. I can't explain to you what the feeling is. I can't, and like I got children. I was in the streets when I was young. My mama, she'll tell you. You know what I'm saying? I don't hide my past because my past allows me to communicate to the brothers and sisters who are going through what they're going through because I see them, I see me and them, so I can speak their language. They feel safe around me because I know what they're going through. I was bugging out when I was a teenager because teenagers, just, they bug out. That's what they do, okay? I was influenced by hip-hop, and this is what we do. I never harmed anybody. I never sold drugs to anybody. I never stole from my own. You dig what I'm saying? So I was wilding, but I wasn't wilding like that. I mean, there's some people out here that got to take a lot of baths for the shit that they done did, okay? And in our community, there's no atonement. So people are coming in here with dirty, they filthy, putting on clean clothes, okay, putting lipstick on a pig. Where is the program or the orientation? Because when I went in their system, they put me in quarantine for 8 days. In the European system, there's an orientation progress. Where's our progress of orientation? You could just walk up in any organization, on any platform, dirty as hell, stinking. Okay, with bodies under your belt, with all kind of stuff, so crack to people's mama, you know what I mean? And nobody will hold you accountable in this community. All you got to say is, Ashe, and I read a few books, and I'm enlightened now. But it does work for some people, okay? But we got to protect the borders, right? Because people is going to come amongst us with that energy, we don't need that. So me sitting in there, knowing what I did for my community, know what I'm doing, know that I got 2 children, you know what I'm saying? Know that I'm headed this way. But I didn't realize that I was being tested. I didn't realize that I was being initiated into something stronger and something more powerful. I got on that stage in Detroit and was like, yo, shit, I'm Detroit Red. I'm Detroit Red Pill. That's what I'm feeling like. Because you got to come to them with an energy that they can respect. You know what I'm saying? You're not dealing with no people that's hugging trees out there like that. You feel me? But that is our warrior class. That is they got empty factories out there, man. They got engineers as crackheads out there, bro, and dope fiends. But they can build something from the ground up. They was building Chryslers and all of that from the Neros. They was building Fords and stuff. They got humongous factories with machinery just sitting there. New York is not known for that. We're not builders like that. We're cerebral. Down south, they deal with the hands and all of that. You know what I mean? They build. They put their hands in the dirt. Other places is financial. You go to the West Coast, they need to cut a check. Detroit and all of that stuff, Chicago, warrior. Those are the Muftis come out. They deal with their hands. They build things. They engineers, mathematicians, problem solvers. So why not do the same thing that we've been doing in the hood all around the world over in Detroit? Because it works. It's been proven. Whoever was here on Sunday could tell you, okay, that the movement is real. You can change people. So the same way that Detroit Red became El Malik Shabazz, you got all kind of people in Detroit. If you don't turn your backs on them, that's what you're looking at. You don't got to save all of them because everybody ain't meant to be saved. Okay? But you got diamonds in the rough. You got lotus flowers in the mud. It's your duty to plant seeds and get them out. Who the hell got you out? How'd you get here? You ain't wake up conscious. You know what I'm saying? You didn't wake up conscious. Somebody helped you get here. So I'm going through the situation. I'm on my wild meat stuff. But then I have to man up. Okay? I have to swallow it and be like, whatever's happening, I know I ain't hurt nobody. Ain't nobody get hurt in the airport. I ain't sold no drugs. So you got 3 type of people that's incarcerated. You got MFers that deserve to be there under the jail, rapists, murderers, and all of that. Then you got people who's really innocent, like, they be coming out on a DNA test and stuff like that. Then you have people that's being tested and tried. rites of passage, initiations. If we was in the Serengeti and I turned 16 and give me a spear and be like, yo, go kill a lion, and if you make it back, you die with us. So in the urban jungles in the cities of America, you 16 years old, your ass is going to Rikers. If you come home without a buck 50 and without some high heels on, you don't man like that. That's how that shit works. I didn't write the book. This is how it's going these days. That's how I write the passage. Okay? So I'm like, so the first instant, the minute they put me in a cell, I'm in there with a brother with an ankle bracelet on. He just copped out for 15 years. He's young, intelligent, you know what I mean, full of life. I'm like, take your plea back next time you go back. You know what I mean? You wildin'. Like, he was in there for carjacking and whatnot. And everybody has these things called teethers. My judge had a goddamn teether on, the ankle bracelet. My judge called Deborah Thomas. You could Google her in Detroit. She sits on a bench with a whole bunch of GD behind her. She's got a goddamn ankle bracelet for DWI. That's how ratchet Detroit is. A judge, a sister in her 60s with a goddamn ankle bracelet on. So when I knew what I was dealing with, I was like, oh shit, this is like the Moorish Cobras. I'm in Ratchet City. Like, I'm in Ratchetville. And it's cool, like, you know, the Force Awakens. So she told me, I waived my rights. I'm like, let them come and get me. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to keep it a buck. I knew what it was. Okay? It was some bull crap, you know, larceny charge. I'm with my boys, you know, we learning about white people stealing cotton. So we went in their stores and took it back. This was in 2003, like I said. I was young. You know what I mean? Hey, sue me. You know what I'm saying? So, but mentally, you know, I put things where they need to be. Mentally, I could make something erase out of my hard drive. I can't explain it. It's just what I could do. Some of us have things on our backs. We'd be like, I ain't gonna let it get to me. I just forget about it. It don't exist. Poof, be gone. I've been on 125th Street as a vendor for 10 years. You think they ain't run my name? I've been stopped before in the airport. You think they ain't never run my name? Okay? So I buried that because it was like I wasn't, you know, I didn't harm. The prophet said if you don't harm anyone, I was getting reparations for stolen cotton. Okay? That's how I see it. So she says, if they don't come and get you, this is your day. It's really like a countdown. And we all use, you know, the numbers are all the same. Like they wasn't using Roman numerals. It was like December 15th is the day that you come in front of me, which was yesterday. December 15th will be the day that you got to come in front of me. Then we run your name again. And if it's clean, I decide. This lady with the GDs behind her, I decide if I'm going to let you go. I said, let me tell you this. I said, permission to speak. She was like, speak. I said, Judge Thomas, I see that you got these GDs behind you, so you value education. I said, I need you to go ahead and Google me. Okay? Go ahead and Google Red Pill. Go and Google my name that you got in front of you. If you respect our scholarship, because I was on the goddamn stage at Wayne University yesterday, on Sunday that came before that. Now I'm in front of you. Okay? I'm one of the people that's in my community helping my people, and I got proof of that. I don't need no letters of character and everything. My stuff is public. It's in the public domain. I'm standing on who I am, and I'm telling you that I don't have nothing to do with that Florida thing, and you need to let me go because I got children, my business is suffering, because my customers don't know that I'm gone. My parents, my mama's suffering. My community is suffering. I told my brother, don't tell nobody nothing. I don't have a bail. They said, no problem. What the hell is a free Red Pill shirt? I don't need nobody knowing nothing. Okay? Because my haters are wicked. They on higher levels, like, you know? And people love me and my brother because of what we do. And when you're attached to people's hearts and minds, if you can hold it down, and because that would hurt too many people, knowing that their brother is in purgatory. So I was like, I'm going to just wear this. My mama knows, the mothers of my children know, my brother knows, Sonetta knows, Brother Rich knows, the people that I do business with knows, because they're the ones who I'm going to charge to take care of my affairs while I'm gone, because we do business together. Okay? So I was like, everybody was counting me out. I'm going to just tell it like it is. okay? It was like, he's gone. He's out of here. You know what I mean? Let's take his spot. My brother didn't count me out. A few other brothers didn't count me out, but I came home, and when I was at the conference, the brother pulled me to the side who knew about it, and he gave me a few names of some of my close brothers who be standing in front of all of the people. It was like, yeah, they were saying that nigga's not coming. He ain't coming home. Don't even worry. He's gone. It's a wrap. There's no love out here, okay, in these streets. This community is still the streets. Remember, you're dealing with hip-hop, okay? So the mentality that pervades in hip-hop still pervades in the community as a competitive sport. So if you get taken off of the scene, okay, they be like this, crocodile tears, but at the same time, you know, total money collected, $200. Okay, so that's what I'm dealing with. So I was like, okay, they dealing with me all kind of crazy ways. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on the phone. I spoke to Brother Amir Ibrahim, who happens to be married to my mother. I don't know if you know the Moor. He's an elder. Amir Ibrahim. Yes. Yeah. So I told him what was going on. He was like, don't worry, Moor. What you need to do, he gave me certain passages to read, okay, and just told me to meditate and just stay centered, right? So I was like, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Because in my heart and in my mind, and that's why I'm just saying all of this, because it's all about the divine. I didn't have paperwork. By the time I got to the law library, it was the day before they opened up my gate. I call it a gate because they didn't have cell bars where I was at. It's called the Rock. There's a side where there's like, you know, it's like, it looks like an asylum, the Wayne County. They had me on the side. It was cool. It was all right. You know, I was with people who committed some heinous crimes. But one thing that we know about our people is this, that our people are so misguided, so illiterate to who they are, that underneath it all, these are some of the best people that you may find in life. Because some of our teachers were these people before. Okay? So what they do is they strip you down. All of this stuff came off. All of the ornaments and the trinkets. I was in green with some slippers on. So you forced to be who you really are in a room full of brothers that's just like you. Ain't no more jewelry, so we can't force on each other. They don't even allow you to get pictures. So you can't show off and make other people feel lesser than. So it's all about who you are at that moment. That's who's going to determine if the person next to you is going to punch you in your face and take your food from you. If that person is going to wash you up and be like, you know, that's what determines. They call me school in there, as in old school. I didn't know I was old. But it was like the way that you carry yourself and the way that you build with us and the way that you show concern. You get what I'm saying? It's not what our older heads usually do. They put us on missions and jeopardize us. So as I began seeing the OGs, what they call them, who are in control of the youth, they begin, because those are the people that I delegated my affairs to. Those were the ones who I was officiating with. When I got on the stage in Detroit, I played a clip before I started my lecture from a brother by the name of Big Meech, okay? And the clip went like this. Health, wealth, knowledge itself. This is Big Meech for Know the Ledge Radio. Peace. Because the brother is incarcerated right now. That's their gatekeeper of their underworld in Detroit, BMF, and all other places as well. So I had to show them that your gatekeeper, the person that you look up to, we influence the influential. I talk to the boss, and he'll talk to the underling. I don't even got to deal with them. Let's work on influencing him, and he'll turn around and pick up his flock. So I just showed him that, like, look, your boss is rocking with us. You have no excuse. You dig what I'm saying? And he's behind bars. And one thing about putting people behind bars, they begin to realize how spiritual they are. They begin to realize how talented they are. They begin to realize how much they miss not tapping into those talents. They begin to realize how stupid they was for making decisions that will put them in a situation, right, that will jeopardize not just their lives, but their children's lives, but their parents' lives, and all of them. So it was a huge turning point in my life. It was a huge lesson. I realized that a lot of stuff don't matter. If it's not about your children, and if it's not about leaving your legacy, and if it's not about your family, what the hell is it about? It's not about nothing. Because people was like, oh, I can't go to work and fix cars in Memorial. You're not none of that. Because if they take your freedom, who the hell are you? You're not a lawyer. You're not a dude with a college degree. That shit don't mean nothing. Who are you? What will you sit here with? What is your skill and your trade? What is your talent? What deity exists within you? That's the stuff that matters. Because you're not getting no check. You ain't getting no direct deposit while you're in there. Okay? So, make a long story short, okay? Wednesday, December the 9th, they called my name and was like, pack it up. Like, damn, them boys came and got me. You know, I'm going to have to deal with this. You know, I'm going to have to go ahead and activate something else. But I was having visions the whole night. There was nights I didn't even sleep. I just meditated. And I never saw myself in Florida. I always saw myself at a spot called 90s Cafe that's in Detroit in Highland Park. This sister has a spot. I'm gonna have her bring you down there. It is a social club, but it's something that New York is missing. The thing is lined up with books. Remember what's happening where they used to go and eat? It's just like that. Because Detroit is like, it's stuck in the zone, so it's still like late 70s, 80s. It was one of the most serene places that I've been to, and I traveled the country. So that's what I saw me eating some salmon burgers there. So they brought me downstairs. It was me and a young man. This is how the ancestors were showing me. Me and a young man who I went to court with and got the same countdown for. Indianapolis came to him. They was like, we only got one extradition. What are we going to do with more land? And they always had to invoke my last name. More land, more land, more land. And I was teaching them about the Moors in there. So they was like, what are we doing with more land? And the European deputy was like, we letting him go. I didn't see no judge. I didn't do nothing. I walked right out of there before the date that I had to go see Miss Deborah Thomas. Okay? Now that's the ancestors at work. That's the ancestors at work. And I was here on Sunday to fulfill my duty as the co-host like I told myself I would be. You feel what I'm saying? So the divine, work with your divine. Work with inside of you. Clean up. Make sure when you put your heart on that scale that it's light as a feather. Okay, or the paperwork won't do nothing. You got to get that right. So thank you for listening, family. I appreciate y'all. No doubt. Thank you. Thank you for not judging.
That's beautiful. That's wow. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Wonderful.
No doubt. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, brother. All right. Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. Thanks, bro. No, put it up. Do I have it? Oh, yeah, I do have the mic. Yeah, I do have it. My bad. And family, on December 19th, in Jacksonville, Florida, December 19th and 20th is the Summit of the Moors. I, Red Hill, RVBey, Sharif Noble, Yusuf L, Abundance Child, we will be at the Summit of the Moors. You could go on that website, summitofthemoors.com. I believe we will be live streaming. We're dealing with solutions. We're all coming together, MSTA, more from everywhere, from every different organization this weekend, Jacksonville, Florida. Thank you. All right. It's live. No doubt.
Thank you. That was a nice sharing.
Thank you.
All right.
Let me know when I'm ready.
You are ready.
All right?
Yes.
Islam. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Repeat after me. Allah, Father of the universe. Father of love. Truth.
peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Zul Ali, also known as Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali